Brother lads, welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to brand new video. Arsenal are still searching for a striker. This is the latest Arsenal news and transfer news as well. Gonna be diving into what name is the latest on the striker search that Arsenal are now chasing. Benjamin Sesko is the name we are talking about. The Slovenian is one of the strikers that Arsenal want. He's just 65 million euros. That would be a little bit cheap. He has a release clause which would make the deal a little bit easier. And also, given the fact that I'm hearing that Kai Havertz is going to be Arsenal's number 9 next season, it means Benjamin Sesko fits into what Arsenal want to do. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I've been accused and attacked of not wanting Sesko or not talking about him. The video is dropping. In this video, going to be diving into the bids that have come in for Benjamin Sesko. Of course, Arsenal have not yet bid, but we have 2 bids already on the table. Saudi Arabian interest. We're going to talk about Chelsea. We're going to be talking about all the clubs interested and why I think Ben Sesko, in my opinion, is not your guy. When you're looking for a striker that makes the difference, when you're looking for the guy that wants that you want to make a difference, a guy that is going to raise Arsenal's levels and standards to 90 plus points, a guy that beats Manchester City to the title, that is not Ben Sesko. But of course, who am I to judge? You guys are going to be judging, and I'm going to be reporting all the latest, and I'll leave the judging to you. So in the comment box below, let's get to your judging and let's get to your opinions right there. Now, Fabrizio Romano did confirm that Benjamin Sesko will decide before the Euros whether he wants to sign a new contract at RB Leipzig or leave the club this summer. His agent confirms the plan to make a decision within 3 weeks, with several clubs interested, especially in the Premier League. No chance to accept a move to Saudi Arabia. That is Fabrizio Romano. Lots of stories, by the way. In that one piece that you've seen there, I'm gonna be breaking them down because he had reported about them a little bit earlier on. Fabrizio also confirms today that Benjamin Sesko has already received 2 bids from Saudi Arabian Pro League clubs, as reported earlier on, and he says he understands huge financial proposals have been put on table. Sesko has absolutely no plans to go to Saudi Arabia. Leipzig offered him a new deal, as revealed, while Premier League clubs are keep pushing to sign the Slovenian this summer. Benjamin Sesko is one of your boys that are really breaking the European market right now in terms of strikers. And I've got to say this before we begin the Benjamin Sesko talk. I think I was wrong, guys. I think I was wrong. The striker market is known as entertaining, as enticing, as rich as I thought. I mean, yes, we have Osimhen. Yes, we have Victor Gyökeres, but that's it. I mean, there are no names. I mean, you look at Lautaro Martinez, likely to stay where he is. You look at Isak, likely to stay where he is. You look at the likes of Mbappe, already gone to Real Madrid. So the striker market, at a time when many clubs will need a striker, it doesn't look that interesting, honestly. But Benjamin Sesko, let's talk about Benjamin Sesko. Where are we at the moment? Now, Fabrizio Romano has already confirmed that Arsenal are looking at strikers, and Benjamin Sesko is among the players. Now, he is not a priority. I have seen reports coming out and saying he's a priority. Arsenal will consider him as a priority. He is not a priority. I don't think he's a priority, and Arsenal should not make him a priority. Our number 1 target should be a Victor Gyökeres. I've said it before that if we have to go for a number 9, and we have to go for a number 9, it's got to be a number 9 bully. He's got to be a traditional finisher. He's got to be a guy that frightens the opponent. He's got to be a guy that creates a massive difference. Ben Sesko, one of the things I like about him is that he is a natural striker. And that's one of the things that I would one of the reasons why I would compromise. I don't think he's one of my top targets, but I would compromise because he is a number 9. He's a striker, and eventually when he comes in, he still gets the goals. So Fabrizio says that Sesko is one of the players that Arsenal are looking at, and we have monitored him for quite some time. He's not had a bad season, although I think his season has been really kind of mediocre as compared to the way people are hyping him up. Now, he scored 14 goals in the German Bundesliga. That is quite impressive. But in 38 games, right? Then he scored around 18 goals all season in around 45 games. Now that is his first season at RB Leipzig, so maybe that could be one of the reasons why he's not really performed to the levels. He's got a release clause of 65 million euros, which is around 55 million pounds that you've seen on the thumbnail, and that makes him a very good deal. That makes it a very good deal, especially we've been told that Arsenal look at Kai Havertz as their main number 9, and anyone who is going to come in at the moment is not coming in to replace Kai, but is coming in to help Kai. So we might be looking at games where Kai Havertz is not doing well, and then you introduce your Ben Sesko in the 70th minute, or we might be looking at games where Arsenal need to add another goal, and then you introduce your Ben Sesko to add to Kai Havertz's ability up front. Are we going to use the incoming striker like Julian Alvarez and Erling Haaland have been used by Pep Guardiola this season? Most likely so. I think with Kai Havertz in there, you have a striker and you have a midfielder. So I won't be surprised to see a lot of minutes being given to Kai Havertz as a midfielder, and maybe Ben Sesko plays up front. And I won't be surprised as well to see Ben Sesko sitting on the bench for a whole year, because he's only 20. And then Kai Havertz continues up top until Ben Sesko is ready to take over. So the interest is real. Fabrizio says that he's one of the players that Arsenal are really following at a very, very big magnitude. And, it won't be a surprise for us to see him come in. So the price is right. The timing is right, because his release clause is coming to fruition this summer. And I think he is a striker as well. However, these are my problems with Benjamin Sesko. What Arsenal need right now, and maybe I'm wrong, but for me, what Arsenal need now is a polished striker. We need a polished number 9. All this talk of Kai Havertz is going to be, our number 9, main number 9. That is nice. That is very good. He's not been a bad player. He's been a very good signing, and I know Mikel knows that. He's been a very, very fantastic, signing, just like Declan Rice. But if Arsenal want to go forward, if Arsenal want to create something massive, I don't think he's the guy. I don't think Kai Havertz is going to be the leader of an electric line that scores 50, 45 goals. I don't think. I think Kai is capable of 15, 20. Saka is capable of his 15, 16. And Martinelli is capable of his 15, 16. When you combine all that, that is your 45. But the problem is that is the ceiling of those players. So I want a finished product. I want a polished guy. I want to bring in a striker that is really going to bang in the goals. I want a Victor Osimhen. I want a Victor Gyökeres. Because with Victor Gyökeres, he's not polished as well. And I'm not really sure he's your, Victor Osimhen, or the way you would sign a Robert Lewandowski from Borussia Dortmund, back then. But the advantage that comes with signing a player like Victor Gyökeres, he's 25. He's entering into his prime, and you can see the football he's playing. He is in his prime. What the Arsenal project need right now is not a bunch of youngsters to add to the young core. It is actually a bunch of, experienced players with pedigree, to come into this Arsenal side and give us something that we do not have. Lodri made a remark that made many people angry. He said, when Arsenal came at the Etihad, they showed a very poor mentality. Their mentality was to draw. They wanted to draw the game, right? They didn't want to win. And when we saw that, we said, we are going to win the title. Imagine if Arsenal had Lodri and Kevin De Bruyne, because Lodri, Kevin De Bruyne, those have been the game changers for Man City this season. And maybe Phil Foden, who's young, right? But we have the Phil Fodens, we have the Jeremy Dokus, we have the Josko Gvardius, we have the quality. The young players that have the quality, we have that. Timber is there, Nketiah is there. We have those young players. Nketiah is not quality, but we have the young players. What I wanted Arsenal to do, and what I thought Arsenal would do, is go out there and poach the 26, 27, 28-year-olds. That is the age bracket I thought that we were going to be dealing with. And that's the age bracket. You remember when I talked about Joshua Kimmich? I was very excited because Joshua Kimmich is potentially available. I was excited because Joshua Kimmich plus Declan Rice plus Martin Odegaard, that is a very good midfield. Look at Madrid and how they took, Toni Kroos, and it's been there for quite some time. But Toni Kroos went there and he absolutely elevated their midfield from here to there. So that is what I think Arsenal should be looking at. I'm not despising Sesko. I'm not saying he's not a good striker. I'm not saying he is not quality. And I'm not saying signing him is a massive mistake. What I'm trying to say with Ben Sesko is Arsenal could do better. That's what I'm trying to say. Arsenal could do better. Arsenal could do, could use a striker that is ruthless, a striker that is not under development, a striker that is not coming in to back up. We need to be ruthless. If Mikel Arteta was ruthless with Aaron Ramsdale, a goalkeeper who had 2 campaigns at the top, a goalkeeper who was willing to improve and was continuing to improve, and he was ruthless with him, and he said, I am not going to keep you, I am going to move on. If he was ruthless like that, I think we can be ruthless with Kai Havertz, and I think we can be ruthless with Gabriel Martinelli. I've told you, my transfer priorities this summer is Arsenal go out there and sign a winger like Kavicha Kvaratskhelia or Rafael Leao or Vinicius Junior or Rodrigo. A guy that can either create a multitude of chances or a guy that can score a multitude of goals. It's the same thing with the number 9. I know Kai has done well. I know we are sympathetic, and I know, but we are chasing Manchester City. The script has been laid. The script was written 10, 15 years ago. By the time the script of challenging for the Premier League was written, Arsenal were not even thinking of coming back to challenge for the Premier League again. Liverpool were not even thinking of coming to challenge for the Premier League again. And that script was written when Manchester City were taken over by the oil money and they were not regulated. So going out to sign Sesko for 65 million makes a lot of financial sense. Because you're going to sell Edin Ketia and you're going to sell maybe, Albert Samuel Konga, and you'll make up for that money. But that does not close the gap. What we are looking to do is to close the gap. That doesn't close. I'm sorry, Benjamin Sesko does not close the gap. Good striker, real talent. I have seen his talent. There's a lot of raw talent in there. He doesn't close the gap. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. So Sesko, I'm not 100% into the idea that Benjamin Sesko is your guy and he's the striker Arsenal should be signing. I think getting rid of Edin Ketia, getting rid of Florian Balogun, we were getting rid of raw talent. We are getting rid of the statement that there is a player in there. I think in Sesko there is a player in there, and we can see that he's performing to the top. But the Premier League is a different beast, and he is not ready. Give him 2 more seasons at the top in the German Bundesliga, and we will talk. Right? We will talk. Even Alexander Isak, by the way, who has had a fantastic season, his first season was not as fantastic as the season he has had. Right? So for Sesko, I'm not 100% sold onto the idea. I'm sorry. Now, Saudi Arabia want him. And they have given him, huge offers. So you can see that the talent is there. And you can see that he's attracting big money, right? If Arsenal bring him in, I will not be against him. I think Sesko is like Rasmus Højlund. I would compare him to Rasmus Højlund. I would compare him to Darwin Núñez. I think he's in that bracket of strikers, not in terms of their output, because I think Rasmus Højlund again is a quality player. But they're just young strikers. And when they score for you 15 goals in a season, they've done well. When they score for you 16, 17 goals in a season, they have done well. They're not among the young strikers who are the extraordinary. And when I say the extraordinary, I mean Erling Haaland. I mean Kylian Mbappe. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I think Lautaro Martinez is a player Arsenal should be breaking the bank for. Because Lautaro Martinez among the veteran strikers. Okay, maybe no. Yeah, veteran. I would say veteran. Among the veteran strikers, Lautaro Martinez is your guy. And Lautaro Martinez, he is a goal scorer. He is an absolute gem when it comes to being in front of the penalty area. He is your man. That is the quality Arsenal should be targeting, not Benjamin Sesko, right? I love the price. I love the idea of going for a wing striker, but I think this is wholly inspired by the fact that Mikel thinks Kai is his number 9. Is that right? There is not much wrong in there. I won't even lie. There is not much wrong in there, but I'm not 100% sold onto the idea that Sesko and Kai Havertz close the gap on Man City. If you are convinced about it, you tell me about it. But I'm not convinced about the idea that Sesko and Kai Havertz close the gap on Man City. I think Sesko can give you 14. Kai Havertz can give you 16. That is 30. I still think Haaland, if he's given the right kind of service, he will go 35. And those 5 goals, with a well-built defense that has been grilled by the manager and one of the best goalkeepers in the world, City will still dominate. So we're going to be diving into a lot of striker talk, but just wanted to voice my opinion on this one so that you guys know where I stand when it comes to what do Arsenal need in my head.